What's going on, guys? Investment Coach Chris here, and we're in a CGC trade. The P&L for this trade right now is about $190. We're in for 1,200 shares at $48.21. Make that about $250, which is a nice trade. Our profit target for this trade is about 50 cents is what I'm going for. I'm at 1,200 shares at $48.21, and we're right here at about 26 to 30 cents. Yeah. So what we're trying to do here is, since we have 1,200 shares, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here and push market, and I'm going to push my position size, which is 1,200. So I'm going to take 400 shares, and what I'm going to do is, once I get to a certain price target, I'm probably going to sell some of my shares. What I'm looking for over here, and if the volume's not super clear, I do have a new microphone coming in soon. It's supposed to be a professional grade, and the audio quality should be boosted up, and also an HD camera is coming in too. Thank you guys for supporting my Patreon. The Patreon has allowed me to have some extra funds, and since people are enjoying these videos, why not try to increase the quality of the video. P&L is $310 right now, so we're at $48.21, $286. So what we're looking at right now is, oh yes, that's just beautiful. Look at that. Look at that beautiful spike. So we're at $48.39. We've broken this high right here, which was a critical point if you think about it. This point right here was absolutely critical to break. So now we're at $406, and I'm gonna look for this to pull up to 41. I'm in at 21, so I'm going to look for this to pull up to right about 48, 41. I'm going to sell 400 shares, so now I have 800 shares at $48.21. And what I'm going to look at for this one is looking for a continuation play. I have 800 shares now at $48.21, but I did just to make sure that I can lock in some profit like that. I look at this pattern right here. You can see that we've pushed up. We did kind of spike, and now we're kind of getting a little bit of a pullback. Oh, but with that pullback, we're going to push a little bit higher. So taking my partial, locked in a little bit of profit. So now I have 800 shares here, still at $48.21. We look at the buyers. We have buyers at 42, 45. So what we're going to do is now I'm going to take 400 shares, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for my original price target, which maybe right around here at 50. We're still pushing up pretty beastily. So what I'm going to do is check the chart over here. CGC is just blowing up. 48.71s for the high. We're above the two Bollinger Bands. Momentum's going up. You know, I kind of want to sell a little bit more just to lock in some more profit, because a $500 trade is always a good trade. But it's really hard to sell with the momentum being so high in that situation. So what I'm probably going to do is still sell 400 more right there, just in case of pullback. So now I have 400 shares left at 427. I'm looking at the bid and the ask price right here at 43 and 46. And what I'm doing is I'm watching it at 400 shares. I'm thinking, okay, let's see if the bids and prices. I'm in at 48.21, and the people are still willing to buy it at 41. So it's still 20 cents above. So what I'm going to look at, I'm going to hold a slight pullback, and I'll probably hold a pullback right around 48.35 or so. Maybe I could sell some more, maybe, but that's a pretty strong move for a stock that's been pretty damn strong all day. We have positive news. If you look over here, I'm using Thinkorswim. I have just the news. Benzinga's top 10, price action going up, MACD, and I mean, look at this. I mean, we're still looking really strong. And I really would like to hold to see if we're going to break that 48.71. Because if we break 48.71, then that's a pretty beastie position to keep going, because I mean, just check this price pattern out, man. So all you guys who are trying to learn how to trade and want to learn how to trade, acting slow right here on the computer, just kind of look at this price action. Okay, we're pushing up. Zoom in right here. Computer's been acting slow. But anyways, look, we've been pushing up all day. I know we're kind of in a horizontal consolidation right now, but this stock has been pushing up all day. It's got a high of 48.71. It's above the Bollinger Band. This is a 1-minute chart on the left, a 5-minute chart in the middle, and a 15-minute chart on the right. So if you think about it, it's pretty crazy. And then the SPY's over here, the SPY. So everything is just kind of pointing in an up direction. So yeah, see, now we're up 440 with 400 shares. And I know it sounds crazy, but what I'm probably going to do is I'm probably going to take my position, which is 400. I say crazy, it's not crazy. I'm going to take 200 shares, and if it breaks above 48.50, I'm probably going to add a little bit more. I don't like that the volume's really low right here on the 2-minute chart. I'll say low, relatively low. On the 1-minute chart, we have a red bar here, but then we have some volume. Now this volume's been up to 61,000 per minute during that side. So we look at the 5-minute, we see 124,000 volume there. So I'm looking at these volume bar, and what I'm doing is I'm saying, okay, if this volume starts to come up, I know it can get to 78, but it can also get up to 312. And if we get like a big 100, 200 volume with the trade like this, what that's telling you is a lot of buyers are coming in. And now I'm locked in at 400 shares with $451 of profit for this P&L for this trade at $48.21. So I don't want to like just sell my position and try to get out. What I want to do is I want to see, will this volume continue to go up? And if so, will this stock continue to push up? This is a momentum breakout strategy, because if it pulls out above 48.50, oh, there goes a drop. If it pulls up above 48.50, there's nothing to say it can't continue to push. See, that's a little fake out right there. The institutions and the algorithms or the retail traders kind of know that. Now, this is not going to help us. The SPY, though CGC is a marijuana stock, okay, it's Canopy Growth Corp. Just because the SPY, which is right over here on the far right, it goes down, CGC isn't just going to go down with it. But what I have noticed is when the SPY starts picking up, it seems like CGC kind of pulls up a little bit. So we have the 1-minute chart, and right down here I have a moving average convergence divergence, also known as MACD, and a relative strength index. I've used that mixed in with some VWAPs, which is the middle, top, and bottom. I'm not really big on indicators. I use price action more than anything, but I do kind of like to see the MACD and kind of get an idea of where the stock's at, just to kind of get position sizes. So now if you see, we got a little pullback. We didn't quite hit 48.50 the way I wanted to. It kind of touched a line and pulled back. But if you think about it, now we're down to 391. 400 shares left. I'll probably do here. I'm in at 48.21 and now it's down to 48.35. So what I'm probably going to do is take 200 shares. And if it gets down a little bit lower, this stock does have the ability to drop really fast. And there's nothing to say I can't get back into the trade if it does take a big drop down towards the 48 and then try to get a good 50 to 75 cent jump with about 1,000 shares or so. Really important when you're trading, guys, know your position size. You know, earlier I had about $52,000 in the trade and did a quick little spike up for 50 to 75 cents. And the reason I do that is because 50 to 75 cents and scalping off is a really good technique when you kind of have a stock that's as strong as CGC but is in a horizontal consolidation, because CGC is a rapid mover. This thing can move up and down like crazy, so you really have to be on your P's and Q's. Just give me 1 second, I'm not trying to be rude. I do have one of my clients that's supposed to be calling me for our check-in. On that note, if you're curious about learning how to trade, get in touch with me. I have a Patreon where I have a private forum through there where I post a watch list of my stocks that I'm looking at. I'm also an affiliate with TradeNet. If you want to learn about how to get funded, contact me. Yeah, there's a lot of different options we can do. So now we're in at $415.80 for our P&L for this trade. We did pull our position size down a little bit, as y'all saw. So we got 400, what do we have, 400 shares left? Okay, so I'm going to take 200 shares, and I'm basically trying to see what the stock's thinking about doing. If it wants to continue to push down, I'll probably sell if it goes below that. If it goes below this exponential moving average, but if not, I'd really like for it to push above 48.50. And if it pushes above 48.50, then we do have a little bit of a gap close from 48.50 to about 48.62. But I believe if it pushes over 48.50 and makes a run, I think it's going to make a run and set a new daily high, because that's just kind of how CGC works. After some of these big pullbacks, it just makes sense for a stock that's been making like higher lows, started here, right, pulled up to there, pulled up to there, pulled up to there. These are estimations, right? No, I don't want that line. I'm just fucking around now. Oop, I shouldn't say that on camera. Probably won't even edit that out. Anyways, $419.80. You don't just want to pay attention to your P&L though, traders. Like, it's not something you want to do. I just kind of keep an eye on it just to kind of show you like what's possible with the position size. But what you really want to do is look at your MACDs and your charts and say, am I in a good trade? I mean, we're pushing up. We're above the middle and top Bollinger Band, Bollinger VWAP. So this middle VWAP, standard deviation, +2, -2, 15-minute chart. 15-minute chart showing some strength. A candle up, a slight pullback. I really like looking at the 15-minute chart because the 15-minute chart kind of gives you an overall idea with the, because there's been so many times I know in my personal experience I get stuck in a trade to where I'm looking at the 1-minute and 5-minute chart and we have a quick pullback, but it's just it's called a shake. It's the traders are trying to shake you out to sell so they can buy more shares. The 15-minute chart is one of my little secrets that I say secret. A lot of people know it, but it's one of my techniques that I really like to compare to. I like to take the 15-minute chart and sometimes even a 30-minute chart. And you can kind of see we pushed up, we pulled back, and now we're pushing up again. So you can really see over the course of a half an hour what the stock's trying to do. And as you can see here, we are slightly overextended with the MACD. The relative strength index is a little bit high, but if you can see this right through here, down here on the chart, we do have about probably 11 points on the RSI that can continue to push up, but it is extended. So in case it is going to do a pullback, you can hold your position, but if it's going to do a big pullback, you've sold your partial enough that you can still walk away with some profits on the table. For me, for example, again, like I said, I'm in at 48.21. We're about 20 cents above where our buying price was. So, you know, we're just kind of waiting right now. There's really no reason to get out of the trade unless we see the buyers and sellers down here. If we see a bunch of sellers come in, they're selling it at 48.48. Okay, we want them to sell it for 48.49. We want this to get up to 48.56. A lot of 11. So there's 50. Okay, so that's kind of what we were talking about earlier. I want the bid. I really want the bid, the buyers, not the sellers, but I want the buyers to be willing to pay 48.50 for it. Because if the buyers are willing to sell it at 48.50, then we have a 25-cent jump from there to 48.75, which we could go through. So now we're at $443.80, and you can see the bidders are pushing up right there. Wouldn't be a terrible idea to maybe... This mouse is driving me crazy, guys. I'm going to go down here. All right. If the volume is a little too low, bear with me. I do have a microphone and new camera coming in. So yeah, they should be here in the next couple days. Thank you, Amazon Prime. And on that note, the audio quality with that microphone is probably going to be increased tenfold. So also, just while we're in this video, you can see we're in at $443 right now. We have 400 shares at $48.21. Really looking down here to see. Really want. Okay, screenshot. Really looking to see if this is going to continue to push higher. It's looking really good. I really want the buyers though. I really want the buyers right here. As you can see, I want the buyers right above my face. I want that 48.45. That's really what I want to get up to 48.50. That's going to be really good for me for the trade, and for the trade in general. Something else you can do here is, just so you know, you can take your phone and you can put stock, what is it called, Stock Master. And something I like to do, something that you may want to do is try this out. You can actually put up the indices of the world index, and you can kind of put that like on your phone over to the side, or I have an iPad Pro I sometimes do this with, just so you can kind of keep an eye on the NASDAQ, the Russell, and the S&P 500. So we're at 48.43, looking at the bid and the ask. This video is a little boring right now because the stock's kind of sideways consolidating. But yeah, what do we see? What do we see, guys? Yeah, we see a stock step pushing up. We do see a stock that kind of hit a point right here where it's kind of having a hard time breaking. But if it does break, it's trying to break through that. If it does break that little point there, there's nothing to say it can't go higher and maybe make some new highs of the days. That would be pretty rad. Pushing up a little bit still, right about $439 for this position. CGC still pushing up. Just looking around. Pull this over a little bit. So I'm just looking at the bid and ask. A lot of sellers right there. 48.49 is the buyers. A lot of people selling at 48.51. People were willing to sell it there. I think that was a jump, if I'm not mistaken. 48.50, yep. Broke 48.50, so we're going to buy 200 more shares. So now we're in at 600 shares with $473 profit for $48.33. The reason I only bought 200 is because 200 was half of my current position size. So by getting half of my current position size, I've raised my average cost to $48.33, and now we're selling for $48.60 with $497 profit. So now I'm going to take another 200 shares right here, and what I'm going to do is, oh yeah, baby, push up, push up. That's what Papa loves to see, baby. So I'm going to take that, and at 520 or 509, I'm going to sell 200. So I'm back down to 400 shares. I'm in at 400 shares at $48.33. $48.33, and the bid is 30 cents above. No reason to get out of this trade. We want to go to the moon, baby. Rocket to the moon. So my original target was right about 48.75 for this trade. Just trying now to kind of look and see what's going on. Love that big jump. Love that big jump. And now we're approaching, I think, close to new high. The highs of the day is 48.71. So look at the 1 minute chart, look at the 5 minute chart, and look at the 15-minute chart. Everything's pushing up. The SPY is kind of pushing up too. That's going to help us. Look at that volume spike. Look at that beautiful volume spike. Spiked up to 158,000. Look at this volume spike right here on this. This is huge volume spike. So if you could catch that volume starting to push up, remember, volume is your friend. Just give me a second. We're in at 521. I'm going to type one right here. CGC. Beautiful trade. Yep. Oh, it pushed down a little bit. Now we're down to 469. So we did get a slight pullback. Nothing too concerning. Keep in mind that we just did a big pull up, so we're at 469 for our profit. So what I'm going to look for now is to see if we can hold above this 48.50. 48.50 is a whole number. If you come to the TradeNet chat room where we are, where I was just typing into, it's one of the chat rooms that I utilize to trade with. 48.50 is a whole number, and that's very important because whole numbers tend to have this psychological they have this psychological attachment to them. When we see whole numbers, a whole number is no different than any other number. But when we have whole numbers, they tend to create support lines and resistance lines. So what we want to do is we want to take our 400 shares, and I still want to hold on to it because remember the high of the day is 48.71. So we're 10 cents away from the high of the day. So there we push back up to 500. So I want to hold this, and I really want to stay above 48.50. I want to see how far we can push this stock today. Up about $500.05. Look at the bids. We have people buying for 48.61. Remember, each one of these numbers represents 100, so that's 300 shares, 200 shares, 600 shares willing to be bought. 600 at 48.62. Okay, and 1,200 willing to sell. So we have a 1,200 shares at 48.67. So all this is kind of lining up to say, okay, people are interested. Yeah, and I'm kind of interested too. For 400, I think I'm going to take 300 shares. Nah, at 400, 200 is half, so I'm going to take 250 shares. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to watch this volume and kind of watch the CGC trade. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to look for a break of a new high. We're at 48.71. We are overextended, definitely on the chart. Probably going to be well, it's really hard to tell. It kind of looks like there's going to be a pullback is what it would look like, but still people buying at 65. If you look right down here, yeah, there we go. There's another push right there. So now we're at 525, pushing up. 48.71 is the high a day. So if we break that high of a day, 48.71, we're right there at breaking the high of the day at 48.72. Yep, I think that was a new high of the day right there. 48.73 is the high of the day. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold on to this trade and see if we can push up. And if we get up towards 48.49, look for a push up to 49 and a pullback, and see if we can just hold on to that trade. Let's see what's going on in the chat room. They're talking about Tesla, Nvidia. Yeah, Tesla's pushing up too. Wow. Tesla's approaching a new high today. Nvidia wants to break. CGC, Scott's in there. It's kind of pulling back a little bit, so I'm going to take 200 shares and just kind of hold it and see what's going to happen. Let's send a message to Scott real here. CGC, baby. Down to 449. Okay, so now we're down to 450. We're definitely having a big pullback here. So we're down below that, so now I'm going to take 200 shares. Well, I'm going to see what happens right here. We're at 47.31, 429. I'm probably going to do is just wait a little bit longer. Yeah, we'll take a sell. So now we're down to 200 shares, and then we'll sell that. So there we go, guys. The reason I decided to sell at that point was because, yeah, it's probably going to come back, and it is going to do a pullback, but it just pushed up so hard and so heavy that, in my opinion, this is a perfect opportunity for a pullback. So as you can see, it's still pulling down, and yeah, it's still a very strong stock. And if you were going to take this longer, you could hold and then add to your position, but it's been pushing up so heavy that I just decided to take my 400 and what was it? $430 profit. I was as high as at $527 at some point, so I did lose about $100. But if CG was going to still break, then that break could have been worth a couple hundred more. So that was just an example of a live trade. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm Investment Coach Chris. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. This has been a live trade. You guys have a great day. All right, and we are out. Peace.